There's only one way to stop the wickedness, and it is to prevail on the wicked difficulty of Oh No More Lemmings. So welcome to the 5 last levels of the difficulty, and now we're gonna start with the soft drink level. Yep, that certainly reminds you of 5 Alive indeed. But hey, it's all about being able to save 5 of your 6 lemmings. So your first order of affair in this one level is to set 1 lemming as a bomber, and then you mine, but sometimes it doesn't always work, so we're gonna need to make this lemming float, and yeah, I don't know, I don't think we're gonna prevail. Yep. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of a luck factor to this one level. You have to start mining at the right timing so that your lemmings are not gonna be all clumped up together, because then you're not gonna be able to build to that one ledge while having all of your lemmings follow through. You can only allow one lemming to fall down, because then what's gonna happen is, well, yep, here we go. This is what you want to happen instead. And don't ask me why I'm even assigning a climber, because it's totally unnecessary. Yeah, but this way, now that we did our miner properly, we could have just assigned 2 floaters and we would have gotten a pretty good margin for error here. So it's a really short and sweet level for the most part. On the Windows 95 version, it was especially easy because when your lemming will blow up, it will be temporarily considered as a blocker, so you will have one hell of a lead to build a ramp, so yeah, it will be even easier. This level, however, can be a real bastard. Down the tube. Of course, you already can tell that you're not gonna be able to drop there really easily, or at least without any serious destruction of your feet or whatever, so yep, we're gonna have to use some different tactics in order to beat this level. I pretty much avoid the tube because it's a pretty bad place to be, so instead, we're just going to solve this level outside of the box. That was not how this level was supposed to be done, but hey, sometimes it's fun to do levels the way that they're not meant to be done. Try it, you'll like it. Most of this level was designed so that falling down will result in you killing yourself, but yeah, if you land on that one little pole where the exit is, that's gonna be enough to save your lemmings. So therefore, you can just build a ramp in order to land on the bottom tiny platform, and this way you're going to be able to land all the way down to the exit, then you assign a blocker in order to steer your lemming toward the exit, instead of having to do the really complicated solution that I'm going to demonstrate right after that we're done with this. By the way, you can only afford 1 casualty, so your blocker is the only lemming that's afforded to die. And in the actual solution, well, you need him to die as well, because we're gonna have to use our blocker a different way in order to succeed. So here's the way that the designers probably intended you to beat this level, and it's a real doozy. Right here, I've already fucked it up. Right here, you want to build a ramp so that your lemmings are not gonna wander over, but yeah, here I fucked it up because you need to be able to climb on the little sphere that's here without any kind of hassle whatsoever, but make it so that whenever your ramp is being built, your lemmings are not gonna be able to walk up the orb. You will need the climber in order to get there. And now, it's time to block outside of the box, because yeah, what we want to use here is a blocker, and with the bomber here, we're going to get it so that we're gonna have one hole that will lead to the platform below. But it's really finicky, and it's really easy for this to fuck up and go really, really bad. So you're definitely gonna need a couple of attempts in order for this to work. So what is the better solution? Avoiding the entire level altogether, or just timing a very precarious blocker and then making it so that, yeah, that's exactly what you want to happen right here. And yeah, also make sure that you don't build right ahead, because otherwise, yeah, your lemmings are all gonna die in the soap. And if your bomber is too badly placed or something, it's also highly possible for your lemmings to just drop straight down into the soap water instead of landing on the pillar where they'll reach the bottom ledges that you're supposed to build from. And that'll be it for this one level. That definitely was way more of a doozy. I really do not like this solution at all. I definitely had some problems pulling it off. Not that much, but still, it was way more harder than what I first did. Oh boy, one of these levels. Lots more where they came from. Oh boy, this is definitely one of those levels that you will look at it and you'll be like, oh boy, this sure looks fun. It's also one of these levels that provide you with a shit ton of bombers, but don't get too carried away because even though you have 42 of them, you can only afford 10 casualties, so don't start nuking your Lemmings dilly-dally. And yeah, you have to do this ramp at the beginning because otherwise your Lemmings are just gonna fall down and they're just going to hit one of the little high stalactites or something and just head straight to the pit and on the left. Definitely not a thing that is meant to happen. So there are two ways in order to do this one level, and I'm going to start with the one that makes the most sense because I never understood why this level will be solved any differently. The game designers obviously want you to go below the giant floating Iceland or whatever the hell it's supposed to be, but I just found out that in overall, it's way easier if you just take the above road. It's a little bit harder to set up a couple of the things in it, but generally it works out a whole lot better in your favor. Because otherwise, if you go down below, what you're gonna have to do is to use a shitload of builders in order to make it so that you're going to be able to bridge the icicles that you cannot go over. There are also times where you're going to need to also use bombers. You also have like tree miners that can be of use. Oh no, god damn it! Well, I guess I still have my other climber from earlier, but where is he? Oh, okay, so he somehow climbed through the ramp that I built. Not entirely sure how it worked, but either way, we have failed this one time. So you've got the idea of the level. You just go all the way at the top of the floating Iceland, and then you mine in order to have tunnels that will go from the middle of the island and then to the other side like this, and then use builders in order to sprinkle up the rest of the proceedings. Here we go, now everything is going according to plan. This icicle where I started building is too high for the other Lemmings to go through, so there's not gonna be any danger whatsoever. And here we go. Now I'm just gonna have to remember to increase my release rate and everything is going to be hunky-dory. But yeah, we definitely did fine. Only one casualty. I probably could have saved him if I used a builder at some point in order to steer him in the proper direction, but unfortunately, we can't always do miracles. So I still have one Lemming stuck down here, so let's try to save him. Let's go on an undergoing journey through the bottom of the level where everything is really annoying to navigate. But yeah, that's the reason why you have so many builders, in order to get through all of these little inconspicuous places, and sometimes you just get stuck all the way like this. So here we go, that's where you bring out the huge miners. You could also use like bombers, but oh, of course, of frickin' course. Not only the bottom of the level is really annoying to navigate, but there's also a trap hidden here where you have absolutely no way of telling where it is, and it's probably going to decimate you whenever you'll first play this level. So, before last level of Wicked, which is called Up, Down, or Round and Round. The title of this level kind of reminds me of level 5 of Mayhem, which was called Down, Along, Up, in that order. It's kind of the same idea here, except, well, you have to figure out which is the right path. And it's not this one, because, yeah, you can be sure that this level hides a shitload of traps all over the place, where the game doesn't want you to go, so it's time for a new strategy. There's like pretty much two ways that I see in order to do this level. I'm gonna start with the first one, which is definitely more annoying and not really that efficient, but it could work. But with that said, yeah, it's still pretty hard to pull off correctly, so you probably shouldn't count on that. And I think that the one builder that I started at the edge of that one platform earlier was a mistake. Because, yeah, now I'm not entirely sure I'm going to succeed. It's all about the number of lemmings that are going to fall in the drink. Yeah, I think we've reached our debt quota, and we still have at least one ramp left to build, and this one lemming is also going to walk to his doom just by colliding against the ramp. But hey, at least we've made it. Oh no, we didn't! Yep, that's right, there's a hole in that staircase, and guess what? There's another pounder! It's hidden right inside the exit. In fact, if you play this level on the basic Lemming engine, you will see the trap going over the exit for some reason, because the person that did this engine couldn't figure out how to hide it behind the exit in order to make it unconspicuous. So, yeah, this level definitely will look weird if you play it with this one source engine, but with Super Lemming around, I hardly see a reason to play the basic Lemming anymore. It just doesn't work too well anymore. So the first thing that you'll have to do in this one level is to raise your release rate all the way to 99, because the goal here is going to be to create as much congestion as possible and have all of our lemmings packed as tightly as possible, so that we're going to be able to lose as few as we can to the crusher at the end of the level. However, before you get to that one point, you still need to reach this place, and it's still pretty annoying because this is the part of the level where you're gonna have to use pixel perfect building, because you have to start at the very edge of the platform, because otherwise you're just going to hit the ceiling and you will turn back. And we only have 3 builders, so you need to do at least one of these perfectly, so that you're going to have one final builder in order to get all the way to the top of the level, in order to finish the broken staircase. Now it's the moment of truth. Are we going to lose just enough lemmings in order to... Oh no, that lemming walked all the way back. No! No! Unfortunately, I'm gonna miss one lemming. Yep, you're either pretty good or simply lucky. No, I was unlucky here. That's not the same thing. In fact, we probably should have started with the 99 release rate right at the beginning of the level. And now, yep. I just waited as long as possible in order to tighten all of my lemmings together. With that said, okay. I thought for a second that my lemmings were going to turn back after hitting the pillar, but if you start bashing as close to the pillar as possible, you will destroy it with only one swipe, and therefore your lemmings are not gonna turn back, and they will all be together in one tight family. That said, however, I'm gonna need to shape up with my building, because I haven't managed to do a single one of my bridges properly, so it all comes down to this final builder. Okay, we're still good, but yeah, my lemmings are definitely getting spread out, but yeah, this time I must not let... Okay, one lemming fell through the cracks, but hopefully it's okay now. Yep, here we go, alright. Now the final lemming didn't die, and we just barely got enough of them in order to win. I don't really like this level too much. It feels more annoying and luck-based than it is actually, well, you know, challenging or puzzling. So this is why the Lemming Funhouse comes right after. Final level of Wicked, let's see how it goes out. With the most psychedelic staircase you've ever seen. Yep, welcome to the chain staircase that... Yeah, what the fuck is this staircase? It looks so awful. So there's more to this level than it seems, because yeah, instead of just dropping down here and having your life be perfectly okay, instead you're just going to fall down to your wet cement doom. So yeah, all in all, this Funhouse might actually give us a headache, because this is kind of a hard level to figure out, and you don't have a huge margin of error, so you need to just start building a ramp so that you're gonna have one lemming which is going to end up dropping here, or maybe 2. Usually everybody just ends up putting a blocker near the saw blade, and yeah, right here I'm just wondering what the hell I'm doing, because I clearly did not rehearse. So the reason why I'm digging down here is that whenever I'm gonna bomb my blocker over here, they're just gonna end up landing on the little ledge above where I just started digging, and then they're gonna head to the left right away where I'm gonna build a bridge. But yeah, the timing is kind of hard here. But yeah, some solutions end up getting all of the lemmings to walk toward the right, where the blocker is, right where the huge saw blade is, the boss or whatever the hell, but it's way simpler to do things this way. And once that you're here, you probably should increase your release rate to 99. After all, you have 80 lemmings and you only have 2 minutes, so you better get moving. It's also possible to end up building a huge ramp going right to that triangular ramp that you see just below on the left of the starting platform, and make all of your pad base here and having only one lemming head toward the sawblade dimension. But it's kind of a hassle, and I think in overall this is a solution that works out a whole lot better. But yeah, a pretty clean, challenging level in order to finish the wicked difficulty. So all in all, this difficulty definitely went a whole lot better than Wild. It had a couple of duds, but I'm still pretty happy with the overall quality of the levels. And now, this is probably the one moment that a whole lot of people who are familiar with the game have been waiting for. The Havoc difficulty. We're now at the 20 final levels of the game, and oh boy, things are going to get really ugly. This is hands down the worst that Lemmings has to offer for you, and hey, it's you that have to go through it, so stay tuned for next update as we're gonna tackle the hardest levels of Lemmings that have ever been published.